Welcome back, Focus Learners. Okay, so today we are digging into a truly fascinating urban mystery for this explainer. I want you to picture something for a second. Imagine you're riding the Chicago Transit Authority train late at night. You know exactly the feeling I'm talking about, right? It's way past midnight, the car you're sitting in is almost completely empty. Overhead, those fluorescent lights are buzzing, kind of flickering a bit. Outside the windows, the city is just sliding past in these dark, blurry streaks. And as you hit that long, pitch-black stretch of tunnel between stops, this heavy feeling just settles over you. It's the sudden, totally unexplainable instinct telling you that you should absolutely not look at the other end of the train car.
Okay, let's dive into this. Most people who ride the red line late at night get that eerie feeling at least once, and, well, most people just keep their heads down. But some of them, they look anyway. And that is exactly where our dataset begins. Since the year 2003, at least 19 separate riders have reported seeing the exact same inexplicable thing. We're talking about complete strangers here, people riding on totally different nights, different months, across entirely different years, all logging the literal identical terrifying encounter on that flickering, lonely commute.
So here's what those 19 strangers uniformly report seeing. A woman in the last car of a southbound Red Line train. And her description? It literally never varies. She's pale, her hair is down, she is soaking wet, and she's just standing there, completely still, staring directly at the doors. And I want to be really clear about this. She is not looking at the doors that lead out to the platform. No, she is staring right at the connecting doors between the cars. You know, the doors that lead to exactly where you are sitting.
Section 1. The Red Line After Midnight. The context of Chicago's transit. To truly understand how an anomaly like this can even persist, we kind of need to understand the environment it exists in. We're going to peel back the layers of this localized urban mystery by looking at the actual context of the CTA Red Line. So let's start with this number right here, 24. The Red Line runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's the only rapid transit line in Chicago that never, ever stops. When we talk about those post-midnight hours, service drops way down to maybe one train every 15 or 20 minutes. The platforms totally empty out, the train cars thin down to just a handful of riders. You know, maintenance workers, hospital staff, maybe folks who just missed the last bus. It becomes this incredibly isolating environment.
And then there's the geography of it all. 23 miles. That is the massive length of the Red Line, cutting right through the heart of Chicago. From Howard Street way up north, all the way down to 95th and Dan Ryan on the south side. It connects the absolute extremes of the city. And because of this massive stretch, you get these really long, dark sections of tunnel between stations. It's in these brief, unlit seconds between stops where the cameras just don't reach, and where incidents can super easily slip right under the radar.
So the crucial point is that this isolation and vast geography actually contribute to a pretty dark administrative history. The Red Line has seen its fair share of platform falls, suicides, and unreported tunnel crimes, going all the way back to its earliest days. Now, the CTA keeps records of everything, sure, but not all of them are made public. Sometimes really traumatic events are just buried as simple, sterile administrative line items. For instance, there's this incident from 1987 involving a young woman on a southbound train running way after midnight. It shows up in the records with no name, no case number, just a date, a train number, and those two incredibly haunting words: passenger unrecovered.
Section 2. The first documented reports. The modern sightings.
Now, that 1987 record is something we will absolutely return to in a minute. But first, let's fast forward a bit and shift our focus to the year 2003. Because this is when the modern legend really starts to take shape and spread. Honestly, it spread like wildfire, person to person, specifically among Chicago's night shift workers. The very first thoroughly documented modern report actually comes from a night shift nurse named Deandra Williams. She was riding the southbound train home after a grueling double shift at Northwestern Memorial. It was just past 1 a.m., right in the dead of freezing January. And through the connecting window of the second-to-last car, she noticed a woman standing in the last car. She actually noted the clothes looked totally wrong for the freezing weather, almost like summer clothes. But the most vivid detail? The woman was soaked, literally dripping water onto the floor, as if she'd just been standing in a massive torrential downpour.
And this brilliantly illustrates the stark, physical impossibility of the whole thing. See, Deandra, being a nurse, naturally assumed the woman had fallen into the river and desperately needed help, so she pushed right through that connecting door. Through the window, she had clearly seen a soaking wet floor. Yet the literal second she stepped inside the car, she found a bone-dry floor. The car was completely empty. There was absolutely no physical way this woman could have moved without Deandra seeing her through the glass. She was just gone.
Well,
Deandra told her friends, and soon enough, other night shift workers started coming forward sharing literally identical experiences. By 2008, these strict established rules had emerged for the sighting. Check this out. The apparition is always in the last car. The train is always heading southbound. It's always after midnight. The woman is always soaking wet, and she is never, ever looking out the window or at the platform. She is always staring directly at that connecting door. It's almost as if she's just waiting for someone to come through.
Section 3. The 1987 Origin. Uncovering History.
Now, let's just slow things down for a second, because this isn't just some spooky urban myth passed around late-night dive bars. Dedicated, independent researchers actually began digging into the CTA's history to see if there was any factual basis for this story. And they've pieced together this wild timeline of physical breadcrumbs to trace the origin of our passenger. It's basically built from a partial incident log obtained via a FOIA request in 2019, a retired CTA dispatcher's confession in 2014, and this totally bizarre classified ad from the Chicago Tribune from January 1988. So let's walk through exactly what these breadcrumbs tell us about the night of December 11th, 1987.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this specific FOIA finding. On December 11th, 1987, at exactly 12:40 a.m., a southbound Red Line train made an unscheduled stop right between the Belmont and Fullerton stations, and it just sat there for 11 minutes. The incident log uses this incredibly vague designation called Reason Code 34B. When researchers asked the CTA what this code actually meant, the CTA claimed that the documentation for this old pre-1995 legacy system just no longer exists, completely gone. It's a total administrative dead end.
But clearly, somebody else was looking for answers right after it happened. In January of 1988, this crazy classified ad ran for 3 consecutive Sundays in the Chicago Tribune. It was seeking information about an incident on the southbound Red Line on that exact date, between those exact stations. It provided a phone number, but with an area code that has since been totally disconnected. Nobody ever publicly answered it, and whoever placed it, they've never been identified.
But the biggest breakthrough actually came in 2014 when a retired CTA dispatcher finally decided to speak up. He confessed that on that specific night in 1987, a motorman radioed in, absolutely terrified, saying there was a passenger standing right on the tracks in the tunnel between stations. They stopped the train for 11 minutes, searched the entire area, and found absolutely no one. The dispatcher noted that the motorman was literally shaking when he returned. He immediately transferred to bus operations and literally never drove a train again. And the craziest part? The dispatcher recalled that the motorman mentioned a name. It specifically noted 2 things about the person on the tracks. She was young and she was wet.
Section 4. The Reddit Encounter. The Final Warning.
Which brings us right back into the reality of the modern commuter. In the fall of 2019, this whole mystery resurfaced in a highly public way when a grad student named Theo Park posted on Reddit about his own incredibly close call. Let's move to and see how this builds. Step by step, we follow Theo making a huge mistake. Theo was just reading in the second-to-last car at 11:15 a.m., and he did the one thing you are apparently never supposed to do. He looked up, saw the soaking wet woman standing 15 feet away, and he actually acted. He approached the door, he pushed it open, and he literally stepped right through into the final car. But just like Deandra back in 2003, the car he stepped into was completely dry and completely empty.
But Theo's encounter didn't actually end there. As the train entered that dark tunnel stretch between Cermak and Sox 35th, the fluorescent lights in the car started flickering. For a half second, there was just total pitch-black darkness. And in that visceral, breathless moment, Theo reported the undeniable feeling of someone standing directly behind him. Not touching him, no, but just there, filling the empty space of the train car with this terrifying, unseen presence. When the lights finally came back on, he was totally alone. He scrambled back to his seat and never looked through that window again.
Section 5. The Last Car Warning. Don't go through the door.
Theo posted this story to Reddit simply because, honestly, he just needed to tell somebody. He wasn't a superstitious guy, but what happened to him was undeniably real. The response to his thread was absolutely massive. We're talking over 1,400 comments from everyday commuters sharing their own identical encounters on the Red Line. But amidst that entire flood of comments, one response really stood out as the ultimate takeaway of our explainer today. A user posted this incredibly chilling warning: "Don't go through the door. That's what she wants, to see if you'll come to her." They didn't elaborate at all, they didn't answer a single reply, and within 24 hours, the account was abruptly, permanently deleted.
The CTA Red Line keeps running
24 hours a day, slicing through the dark under the city. 19 documented reports, buried legacy codes, and a name that nobody remembers. It's a crazy testament to how urban environments hold on to their secrets. So I leave you with this thought. Next time you find yourself riding the empty train after midnight, and you feel that sudden, undeniable urge to check the car behind you, will you look through the connecting window? And if you do, what will you do if someone is looking back? Thanks for joining me for this explainer. If you have your own unexplained transit stories, I'd genuinely love to analyze them, so drop them in the comments below. Stay curious, stay focused, and maybe, just for sure, try to avoid the last car.
Welcome.